Yo, can you hear me now? Sorry about that. Anyway, welcome to the stream. Thought I would stream for the New Year's Eve. I'm sure, depending where you live, it might already be 2021 for you. Or is that how that works? Yeah, over in the West Coast, it's already past midnight, right? No, they're earlier, so that would be like to the east, right? Yeah, that's right. I had it backwards. I had my time zones backwards. It's 10 p.m. here, so I've still got 2 hours before the clock strikes midnight. But Happy New Year. 2020 was pretty rough in a lot of ways. But those of us that are here, it looks like we made it out, and we hopefully there's some new beginnings and some better things to come. For me personally, 2020, for at least career-wise, was like really, it was kind of a good year for me career-wise. So, and that's, thanks to people like you all. Brandon, thank you for the $2 for blessings into the new year. I appreciate that. Blessings to you as well. It's kind of a kind of a, well, I don't, it's not like a guilt thing, but like, because a lot of other people have had to deal with their situation this year, a lot of people stuck at home, a lot of people out of work, people who do stuff like what I do have seen a big boost. And it's more of like, I guess I'm just happy that I was able to, you know, give people something to watch while they were at home, I guess. And hopefully some of the, you know, hopefully it you know, comes back around, all of the support and things that I've received. Hopefully that comes back around to the people that provided it. But outside of that, 2020 was rough. COVID, obviously probably the biggest thing. But you know, and you know, obviously January 1st is as arbitrary a date as anything else. Like nothing changes about the world just because the year changes, but it's just a good time to reflect and decide, you know, what your attitude going to the new year is going to be. But yeah, so I thought I'd just say what's up, hang out a little bit. Normally I probably would be celebrating with folks, but obviously those are things that we don't do right now. So might as well do it virtually. Well, yeah, I mean, when you give things meaning, if enough people give things meaning, then it has meaning. That, I mean, that applies to pretty much any kind of social construct, as they say. But I'm just saying, there's no like specific, there's no like tangible objective difference between January 1st and any other date. But that doesn't mean it's not significant. And it is an excuse to celebrate. And I'm all about finding excuses to celebrate. I think even in weird and dramatic times such as these, you still have to find ways to bring joy into your life. At least that's the way I feel. I'm not the type of person that enjoys sort of wallowing in my own misery, even if things are bad. Yeah, I was going to get some champagne to celebrate the occasion, but I waited too long, and then all the stores closed. And they don't sell champagne and wine and stuff at gas stations in Alabama. They do in some other states, but like grocery stores and liquor stores and stuff have closed. So I have one beer. There may be another one in the back of the fridge somewhere if I can find it. There's no ice cream. I don't buy ice cream because it's too much of a temptation. I would just like eat a whole box of it in one sitting. I appreciate that this stream is called Livestream Sunday. I've only eaten a sundae on stream once in the entire history of this show. But do I drink soda? The only soda I drink is Diet Coke. But yeah, I think that even when things are bad, I think you should try to find things to be excited about and things that bring you joy, and always remember that you can fall back on those things. Why Sunday then? I guess mainly because I think it's funny. When I used to live stream on this channel several years ago, I used to always live stream on Sundays, and so I named it Livestream Sunday, which kind of sounds like ice cream sundae. So I thought it was a cool little pun. But then when I brought back the live stream, Sunday wasn't really a good day to do it. But I figured I'd keep the name. And now I almost purposely never stream on Sunday because I think it's funny. And, it's a live stream Sunday is just like a nice little compact little treat that you can consume and then go about your day. And that's kind of how I feel about the stream. Personal goals for 2021. I don't know. There's just like a lot of like sort of adulting things that I like, boring adulting things that I'm working on. I don't know if anyone really wants to hear about it, but I'm trying to. I'm planning to move into my own place in 2021. That should be later down the line, though. There's a lot of financial goals that I want to meet. Just trying to get my life together, basically. Start like becoming an actual adult. I've basically been living like a college student for the past like 20 years. And I guess I'm not helping that by drinking Natty, but it's cheap. Things like learn more about I want to learn more about investing, there's a lot of like financial related goals that I have for next year. Like meeting a certain savings goal, learning about investing and real estate and things like that. There's a lot of like personal habits that I'm working on. I used to be really good about exercising, but I like really fell off. I think a lot of people did in 2020. So I need to get back on that train about exercising. I want to do more cooking, more healthy cooking. I'm gonna try to research more healthy recipes and things of that nature. So yeah, I mean, ironically, I started making these moves this year. Well, it's been a process over the past few years, but this year is like the first year where I really feel like a real adult with a real career. And so I'm just making sure I take that seriously, basically. Living out of the college student, but minus the alcohol because I'm only 19. Well, that definitely doesn't stop a lot of other people. But yeah, I mean, honestly, whenever like younger people ask me about alcohol, I'm like, just don't even bother. Stacking Benjamins. I never heard of that. Yeah, there's a lot of, well, with financial stuff, you have to be really careful about what you consume. I mean, I'll take your word for it. But a lot of stuff is like, it's essentially like get rich quick type of stuff. And that's like almost always bullshit. And when you're like studying financial stuff, you get advertised that kind of thing all the time because the internet algorithms assume that you want to see that stuff. But I don't. Yeah, that's not the way to go. The get rich quick stuff, that doesn't work. In fact, it's usually designed to get themselves rich because you usually have to pay them something for whatever brilliant advice they're going to give you. I don't know. My thing about alcohol is some of the best times of my life have been facilitated by alcohol, and some of the worst times of my life have been facilitated by alcohol. And to be honest, the good times were fun. I don't think that they, I'm happy that they happened. But the worst times were awful, and it wasn't worth it. So. But these days, I mean, after you, well, the ideally, is after you've lived a number of years and survived being supremely irresponsible with alcohol, eventually you probably get to a point where you know your limit and you're a little kinder to yourself because you know how awful it can go. And so you overdo it much less. The nature of alcohol is, though, sometimes you don't mean to overdo it and you do it and you do anyway. They're very critical of get rich quick schemes. Well, that's cool. Thank you for being real in your videos. Much respect. I appreciate that. Do I have cooking goals for 2020? Not anything specific, but I do want to just learn more recipes and stuff, especially since I'm going to try to make a pretty drastic lifestyle change in terms of diet. Maybe it's just because I've gotten older and like my metabolism isn't the way it is, but I basically realized that you don't get to eat whatever you want, which is very disappointing to me. So I don't know, my whole life has been me trying to figure out how to set my life up in a way that works for me, to where I get to do things that I like and enjoy things, and and in many ways you can do that if you just set things up the right way. If you understand yourself and how your mind works, you can set things up that way. But with food, it just doesn't work. Like you can't do whatever you want. I mean, assuming you care about long-term health and fitness and what you look like and what you feel like. If you care about those things, you just truly cannot eat whatever you want. You have to be mindful about how you eat. And by the way, alcohol does not help that. Alcohol is terrible for all that, what I just said. So that's another thing that I'm having to really cut back on. But so that's one of the things that I'm going to be looking into, is just figuring out easy, delicious recipes that are healthy and won't, cut years off of my life. As much as I love fried rice and chicken fingers and fucking ice cream and shit, like you just can't eat it really. Like you can eat it on special occasions in very, very light moderation, but it's just like you can't do it. It's just not, it's not allowed really. I mean, it's everything in moderation, but even in moderation, certain things you just like really shouldn't be eating, except like once a month, at most, things like that. Thanks for the amazing content. Hope you have a great 2021. Thank you very much, Taj. Hopefully I said that right. I drink because of social anxiety. Yeah. Well, honestly, with me, and this is one thing that I do credit alcohol for, because alcohol does sort of lower your inhibitions and make you less anxious in social situations. And I think that alcohol actually helped me learn to be social. But I think I got to a point where, because of all of the practice that I had while under the influence of alcohol, I don't really need the alcohol anymore for that. When do you think America will legalize pot? Well, marijuana is legal in at least like half of the states now, isn't it? To some extent. Actually, it's legalized to some extent in most states. But in terms of like fully legal, it's like half of them, isn't it? Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, California, Colorado, DC, Idaho, Illinois, Kansas, Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, wait, I think some of those I've read it wrong. But yeah, anyway, it's a bunch of them. It's like almost 20 of them. And then there's other ones that are like medical only, and then there's some that have like a mixture of both. So it's a good we're like already more than half the way there. As for like if the federal government's ever going to make it like federally legal across the board, I don't see that happening anytime soon. I mean, it could happen because certain things, like for example, gay marriage became legal in America, and that was just like that happened like almost overnight. Like it was completely unexpected. It wasn't even a major issue that the candidates were talking about that much at the time. But it just happened to go before the Supreme Court, and it became legal. So something like that could happen for sure. Any fitness goals? I mean, not any specific goals, although I probably should set specific goals because that's a better way to achieve goals is if they're specific. That's a life hack pro tip for you. If you want to set goals, set specific goals. But I just want to exercise more. I've got an exercise bike and I bought some resistance bands. So I'm going to try to do some stuff at home, and then maybe eventually, like whenever it's safe to go out again, go hit up a gym or something. Yeah, alcohol is very calorie dense. You know, like what I was saying before in terms of like chicken fingers and stuff, alcohol is in that list. You can't really have it that much. And that's gonna be one of the things that I'm gonna work on. I mean, I already limit it, but in order for me to achieve my fitness and health goals, I have to curb my drinking by a lot. Like this one beer probably has like 150 calories in it, or like 120, something like that. That's a lot. That's like fucking, I don't know, that's like 75 grapes, you know. Compare that to like one beer, or like, you know, like 4 chicken thighs in terms of calories. My whole healthy recipe game is marinating chicken with stuff and stir frying with veggies. Yeah, that's kind of my go-to, just chicken and veggies. But that's one of the things I want to research is just other healthy recipes. I don't eat a lot of rice. I don't know. I'm like, I mean, I could probably introduce rice into my diet. Rice and carbs and carbs in general are also pretty calorie dense, but as long as you as long as you portion it out and don't eat like a fucking giant plate full of rice, should be fine. I used to watch a lot of fitness channels, but I haven't recently. How old am I? I'm 35 years old. Only thing I disagree with your ideology is the fact you're drinking Natty Light. It's actually Natty Ice, but not that that's any better. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's not great, but it's fine. Gets the job done. Is 2021 going to be better in your opinion? It will probably be better because it is likely that the pandemic will end in 2021. So that will be better. Don't quote me on that, but we've got a vaccine being disseminated now. So that's a good sign that we can start the process of like getting rid of this pandemic. Yeah, the really like the craft beers have even more calories. But they're also expensive and usually don't even taste that good to me. So Yeah, rice is cheap. When it comes to cheap food, I just go veggies. Like veggies, whether fresh or frozen, it's very cheap. Even canned veggies, it's all very cheap. Fresh produce is obviously like the best to go with, but it goes bad quickly. But that's why they have frozen veggies. Frozen vegetables are a lifesaver. Yeah, I can look into tofu. I feel like if I was gonna do tofu, that I would just do meat. But there may be instances in which tofu is a better option. It's a different texture. Canned or frozen veggies? Well, I mean, I think frozen veggies are highly preferable. The only thing about canned food is I think they usually like dump a bunch of salt and sodium in it just to help preserve it, which I think is not as big of a deal as some people make it out to be, but it's still worth noting. Whereas frozen vegetables is literally just frozen vegetables. Like they don't add nothing to it as far as I know. It's just fresh vegetables that have been frozen. Living solo is so difficult for maintaining a good shopping list without wasting food. Yeah, I could see that. But I like the idea of living alone because you know that everything that you have in your house is something that you want it to be there. Because honestly, like, it's sometimes hard to stick to a diet when you live with other people and they're not on that same diet. Because it's like, well, shit, I need to eat something, but I'm tired and I don't feel like doing anything. And oh, my brother just bought a bag of Doritos. I guess I'll just eat that. Stuff like that. Yeah, every mess that's not taken care of is yours. You know where everything is. The only thing is, me personally, I'm sometimes bad at being alone because I'm a pretty big extrovert. Like I like being around people. I get energy from people. And sometimes I can get a little restless and stir crazy if I'm alone for long periods of time. But I think the benefits outweigh the negatives, and I think people will visit me every now and then. Who are we listening to? This is music made by my brother called John Ivory. I think I have a link to his SoundCloud in the description below the stream. He also made the outro music to my videos. Starting tofu, I suggest buying a tofu press. Yo, there's so much kitchen stuff that I want to get, particularly when I do move into my own place. I really want to get a sous vide machine. I got some cool cookware for Christmas, which was pretty dope. I got a stand mixer, which is amazing. My mom got me a stand mixer, and my friend bought me a wok, which is also dope. Yeah, I'm like super excited about my kitchen. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of like, you know, the stereotypical man is like, he's all about like his entertainment center and his video games and his TV. I'm like that, except with the kitchen. And my kitchen right now is like so small. I don't have even room to. That's why I've been holding off on buying stuff until I get some more space. Like my friend got me this big ass wok, and I barely have anywhere to store it. Like it barely fits in the cabinet. Google wok care. Some are not dishwasher friendly. Well, I need to look that up then, because I do use the dishwasher for almost everything. Yeah, I need to get a mortar and pestle. I need to get better at cooking. I just throw everything in an oven. Yeah, I don't even think that I'm like super good at cooking. It's just fun, and the more you do it, the better you get at it. To me, the thing about cooking is it's really, really hard to mess stuff up unless you're doing something very delicate. Like, even if you don't get it 100% right, it's probably still edible and it's probably still fine. It may not be perfect, but it's probably still fine. The only way that you can like truly mess up food is if you just straight up burn it, or if you just put like way too much salt on it or something. And that's why you taste your food while you're cooking it. A lot of people don't taste the food while they're cooking it, but yeah, you got to taste it to make sure you haven't fucked it up. What do I like to cook? I mean, I just like cooking everything. I cook a lot of, I mean, it's just like meat and veggies is kind of like just the stuff that I make most of the time. Oh, and eggs. Like, I love making omelets. I would say the two things that at least among the people who know me have become sort of my signature dishes are omelets and fried rice. I recently watched your Separate the Art from the Artist video. Does that apply to athletes who have a lot of influence on kids that look up to them? Well, I don't know. That seems like a different analogy, because an athlete's art is the sport that they play or the sport that they participate in. But yeah, I mean, are you saying like, is it okay to be a fan of an athlete? Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing, I guess. I was kind of thinking of it backwards, but yeah, when I watch, like, for example, like if I like watch football, when I watch football players, it kind of doesn't concern me whether or not they're good people or not. Counter space is the best feature of any kitchen. Nothing else matters. I agree 100%. That's pretty much the one thing that I want, is more counter space. I think more walking space is good too, but you can actually have too much walking space. Like, one of my friends has a really big kitchen, and it's just like, it's almost like a workout just to walk around it because it's so big. Baking is terrifying. I'll give you that, because baking usually does have to be pretty precise, and you can fuck it up just by like putting like a half a cup or like a tablespoon too much flour in the recipe, and all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore. So I feel that, but just like stovetop cooking I feel like it's very flexible. I left right-wing echo chambers, and people like you have helped me escape. Well, that's great to hear. I appreciate that, J Dog Man. Am I streaming on Twitch too? I don't stream on Twitch. I was thinking about streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. But I don't really have any reason to stream on Twitch. There's like no reason to do it. I can stream on YouTube. All of my audience is on YouTube. Whenever I do stream on Twitch, I get like 3 viewers. Like, I don't really see the reason to do it. Like, possibly I could get involved in the Twitch community and network that way. Like, maybe that will be an upside. But I honestly feel like the larger Twitch culture, like, I don't even like relate to it that much. Like, there's a lot of Twitch streamers that I like, but I don't feel like I relate to Twitch culture. Am I still playing well? I am. I played earlier today. Top 3 cereal brands. Man, I haven't had cereal in so long. Cereal is a scam. Honestly, it's kind of like brilliant marketing, but cereal is like... It's like... I don't know, it's like dessert that is like marketed as if it's like some kind of healthy food. Which is fine if you like it, but it's just the marketing is like really deceptive. They try to make it seem like it's good for you when it's like totally not. But I don't know, my favorite cereals are probably Raisin Bran Crunch, Honey Nut Cheerios, and I don't know, Cinnamon Toast Crunch maybe. I feel like Cinnamon Toast Crunch is like on almost everyone's list. I mean, it is very delicious, but it's like, I don't know, it's like too much sometimes. It's like, man, this is literally candy. But those are definitely my top 2, Raisin Bran Crunch and Honey Nut Cheerios. Frosted Flakes are pretty good too. Let's move into a place with an old school gas powered oven, like there's a little fire beneath the chamber. You just have to estimate the temperature. Well, see, that would stress me out. I need a dial. I need to know the temperature. I at least need to know low versus high. I was curious since Josh Hamilton, a player I watched, being charged with child abuse this year. Michael Vick also comes to mind. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you, really. My thesis is it's up to you to decide what you can deal with. In general, I feel like how good a person is unrelated to my enjoyment of their work. But sometimes, if you see my video, sometimes the people's work or the people's shittiness shines through their work, and that makes it less enjoyable for me. So, but I don't think that would really apply to an athlete. So no DMing D&D games on Twitch. Probably not, but I might do it on YouTube. Or I might play in someone else's game that is on Twitch. In fact, I am a part, not of D&D, but of a Vampire the Masquerade game, which went on a little bit of a holiday break, but is returning this week on Sunday, and it is on Twitch. It's on, I'll drop the link because you guys should go check it out. It's on Carry and Comfort Studios Twitch. Game is run by my buddy Wes, who's pretty dope. I lean right of the aisle, but follow a few people to the left to hear out other perspectives. I don't always agree with you, but you have earned my respect. Thank you for being kind to all your viewers. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Sarah. You can get better quality cereal with little or no added sugar. Yeah, there's definitely ones that are better than others, but it's still just like fucking, you know, like refined carbs or whatever you want to call it. Like it's not very good. And also cereal usually is paired with milk, which itself has a shit ton of sugar in it. So you really can't escape it. I know 2020 was crap, but what was your best memory of 2020? What was my best memory of 2020? I don't even know. Can't think of like a single thing that stands out. I paid off my medical debt this year. That was pretty tight. Got 200,000 subscribers this year. That was pretty cool. It has a dial but no sensor or self-correction. Yeah, that seems weird. I haven't really worked that much with any kind of gas stove though. That's kind of the goal, probably for anyone that likes cooking, is to get a gas stove. It's a lot better, but I don't have a lot of experience with them. Yeah, please check out the vampire stream. We are on episode 5, I think. So if you haven't watched before, you can. Well, if you go to the Twitch channel, you'll find a link to the YouTube channel. You can watch the previous episodes, or you can just hop in. I think you can pick up. You can sort of pick up the context as you go, because we haven't really gotten to anything super complex yet. We're still setting the stage. Athletes are just people. Some are good and some are bad. It's unfair to hold to an unreal standard and unrealistic pretend they're perfect. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. I think it's pretty weird to assume that any random person. Well, I guess it's not weird, but if you think about it, it's pretty nonsensical to just assume that people are good. They're just as likely to be shitty as anyone else, you know. But I understand that we can. I think we like, because if someone does something or makes something that we really like and we're really moved by, that really resonates with us, we would like to think that those people are thoughtful and good people, you know, because they, you know, who else but a thoughtful genius could have made something so amazing? Like, who else but a, you know, brilliant, kind-hearted man could have made the Cosby Show? It was such a wholesome show with very good morals and great light-hearted humor. Yeah, I mean, I think after a while, I think like if you cook on a gas stove for a little while, you like just kind of see how superior it is. But it's obviously not necessary. I mean, all you need is some heat. You can cook on a campfire if you need to. What's up, Tal Kamara? Why don't you do Twitch? I mean, there's no reason to, really. I don't see the reason for me to do Twitch. All my audience is here on YouTube. The background music is not too loud, right? This is how you're ringing in the new year? Me too. Most likely. It's almost, it should be almost midnight in the Eastern time zone. So for all of you folks, every other stream is overhead shots of Times Square empty. Yeah, I was wondering if anyone else, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people streaming on Twitch. Looks like non-compete is streaming. Snoop Dogg is streaming? What the fuck? Maybe we should all be watching Snoop Dogg.
Let me do my thing. Let me do my thing.
Matt Colville is streaming. How long did it take my hair to grow? About 11, 12 years, something in that, around that. If you stream on Twitch, is hella different monetization and advantages. Yeah, but you have to get people to watch you first. That's the problem. I don't have an audience on Twitch, so when I stream on Twitch, only like 3 people tune in. Much rather stream here where I have an audience. And if this channel was about gaming or something like that, I think it would be easier to do both. But most of the people who follow my channel are not even interested in streaming. Like you can see, I've got like 40 people watching. I have 200,000 subscribers, but only like 40 some people tune into the stream. So I don't really have a big audience that seems to be interested in that. So I'll take what I can get here rather than going over to Twitch and getting like 2 viewers. I swear there are some people that no matter what time of day I turn on Twitch, they're always live. Like Hassan, I swear, is always live on Twitch. It doesn't matter what time of day I tune in. I live in the West Coast and today is my birthday. Happy birthday, Andy. The road to El Dorado, that's a good one. Yeah, XQC streams all the time. I don't think I follow XQC. But I am hoping that YouTube rolls out more features for the streaming, because I think that I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to move to YouTube, or they're going to start streaming on YouTube. And in fact, there's a lot of people that do now. And you know, one of the biggest streamers of all time, Dr. Disrespect, recently moved to YouTube. So hopefully that will influence them to roll out more features. But you know, there's plenty of ways to monetize on YouTube. Like, monetization is not a problem. But there's just a lot of community things that they should do. Like, they should definitely do gifted memberships. I'm not sure why they don't do that. They should let people announce their membership anniversary in chat. They don't do that. They should have offline chat. I don't know why they don't do that. There's a lot of things that YouTube should do. But of course, live streaming is not YouTube's main product, so they clearly devote fewer resources to it. Yeah, I mean, I think every platform needs a competitor. YouTube needs a competitor. Twitch needs a competitor. Oh, I missed. I was trying to see if I could catch when the clock struck midnight on the East Coast. Happy New Year to all of you in the Eastern Time Zone. It is 2021, y'all. This year went by so fast, dude. Like, it still feels like I remember when, you know, the lockdowns and mask ordinances and stuff first started. And that seems like it was just a few weeks ago. But that was pretty much the beginning of the year. That was pretty much March for most people in America, which is wild. I hear YouTube gaming is listening to their creators a lot better than Twitch. Maybe, I don't know. I do think that YouTube, they put a lot of focus on gaming, and that's one thing that Twitch realized, is there's more than just gaming in the world of streaming. And so they've really opened up support for a lot of non-gaming things, while YouTube still seems to be focused on gaming. I mean, they allow streaming. Obviously, I'm doing it right now, but I think a lot of their tools go out to the gamers first, and they probably listen to the gamer community a lot more. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like a memer. It's hard to say with Twitch streamers, because they have to be on at all times. Like, they have to be in character, so to speak, at all times. And so I think a lot of times Hassan is just memeing for his audience. Like I'm sure he doesn't like say things he doesn't believe, but he probably exaggerates a lot just for his audience. Yeah, I don't know. He seems like he's probably a cool guy, but when it comes to like leftists on the internet, it's just not. It's like not interesting a lot of the time. I think Hassan is a lot more informed than most leftists that I've talked to on the internet. So it'd be interesting to have like a non-meme conversation about it, but I don't know how that will ever happen. Yeah, I'm not a streamer. I like to stream every now and then, but I have no intention of like being a streamer. The way these people do, streaming 8-10 hours a day, 5 days a week, I would never. That sounds awful. I do not want to do that. And I was saying earlier, I don't know how many people were here, but the Twitch meme culture is like not really my thing. It doesn't really. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm too old for it or something. I don't want to say that because, for one, I'm a fan of a lot of Twitch streamers. I don't really like to interact with the audience, but I like the streamers. But just the culture on Twitch, at least within like a lot of the more popular ones, is just very like goofy and memey and shitlordy, and it's like, I don't know, man. Just be normal, like, just be nice. It's not really my thing. And yeah, when I stream, I'm not trying to stream all night. I stream for like 2-3 hours, sometimes more if I'm playing a game, but that's about it. Yeah, I'm not your typical streamer for sure. But I like to do it a little bit just to engage with the viewers in a more personal way. And that's another reason why I think it makes more sense to stream on YouTube, because it's just kind of an extension of my channel rather than a whole nother, content delivery platform. What is a memer? It's a memer with the M, as in one who memes. You have a bishop cosplay goal. Once we hit 100 homies, which is what we call members here on the channel, I'm gonna work on creating my bishop cosplay, which is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. And I figure this would be a good incentive to do it. But yeah, I enjoy a lot of Twitch streamers. Don't get me wrong. Like there's some that I really like a lot. I'm a big fan of Ludwig. I like Asmund Gold. I like S-Fan. I watch a lot of the chess streamers. I like Hikaru and both the Botes sisters. I'm like obsessed with Code Miko. I think this is like the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Reagan McCreary became a homie. Thank you very much for supporting the channel and the stream. Memeing. Yeah, I don't mind like emotes and stuff, like that's fine. But I mean, some of the memes are just like either really obnoxious or just like even kind of problematic. Like the whole idea of simps, for example, it became so out of control that Twitch like banned the word simp on Twitch because the meme has gotten so out of control, and it's a problematic meme because it's like kind of sexist, but then it's also kind of like toxic masculinity type shit. So it's just shit like that. Like there's all these like really weird memes that get popular on Twitch, and it's just like not my thing at all. Having a YouTube channel seems like a lot of work. I can't imagine adding an active Twitch account. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of work for one person. Most professional content creators have a team though. I have like one person that helps with my YouTube channel, so it's kind of a team. If I were to do all of that, I would definitely probably have to get more people involved, which I really can't afford to do, to be honest. I mean, I would probably have to if I wanted to, though. But this is my job, though. I don't have another job outside of being a internet content boy. But it is a lot of work. Having a YouTube channel is a lot of work, for sure. You're not wrong about that. But there are definitely a lot of Twitch streamers that have both active YouTube channels and active Twitch accounts. Although a lot of that is usually them hiring an editor to just edit down portions of their stream for their YouTube channel. But it can still result in a pretty good YouTube channel. Like I mentioned, Ludwig, who's one of my favorite streamers, he has a really good YouTube channel. I mean, all it consists of are clips from his stream, but it's well edited and curated in a way that makes it a really entertaining YouTube channel. So I remember when I was in the live stream, I was harassed by MAGA Chud. Well, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes people are very impolite and weird to each other as well. Yeah, black nerd. I follow him on Twitch as well. I actually haven't watched his stuff in a while, but I used to watch all of his YouTube videos. He was like one of my earliest sort of YouTube inspirations. Like before my channel really got off the ground, he was like one person that I took a lot of inspiration from. I just watched Akira as an animation student. It was like a kitten staring up at lion. Reminds me of how far I have to go, but it's also a great challenge. It's been a minute since I've seen Akira. Yeah, they just banned simp incel inversion, which is like, I mean, I feel like that's kind of weird move on their part, but it's also kind of understandable because these memes have just gotten so out of control. The problem is, I don't know if you can like truly just ban being mean on a website, or at least if you're gonna do that, you can't also at the same time say our platform is a bastion of free expression. Because like, for example, I use this example a lot, but on my Discord, which you all should join, by the way, theonejanitor.com/Discord. On my Discord, it is against the rules to be mean. Like, you're not allowed to be an asshole. You're not allowed to be a troll. Like, it's just not allowed. But I never made any claims that, you know, my Discord was a bastion for unfettered free speech. Like, you don't have that there. You're not allowed to be an asshole. You'll get banned real quick. But that's the thing about all of these platforms is they want to pretend like they're bastions for free speech and free expression, but then they also want to you know, for obvious reasons, they want to limit harassment and assholish behavior. So it's a weird line to toe, I think. What's my game of the year? I didn't play any games. At least I didn't play any. I don't think I played any games that came out in 2020. My game of the year is World of Warcraft Shadowlands. That's probably the only thing that actually came out this year that I've played. Because the only other games that I've played, that I've been playing, are like Overwatch and Street Fighter V. That's kind of it. I played League of Legends in the early part of the year, but then I stopped. I did play a little bit of WoW Classic, but I don't really understand the appeal behind WoW Classic. It just seems like a more frustrating and less featured game, or a game with less features than the retail game. I don't really get why people want to do that. I want to play a game that's like, it's not even that it's harder, it's that it's frustratingly difficult. And it has less features, and the features are inconvenient and make the game just unnecessarily frustrating. Like, I don't like, there was nothing about WoW Classic that I thought was an improvement over the retail, basically. So I just didn't understand why people wanted to play it. I mean, nostalgia, obviously, but maybe because I didn't start WoW until Wrath of the Lich King, or at least probably the end of Burning Crusade, which is the second expansion. So maybe I just lack the nostalgia that other people have. Oh, I'm super excited for Breath of the Wild sequel. See, that's a game that I will probably buy on release. Yeah, I didn't play Vanilla WoW. I played the end of Burning Crusade, and the Wrath of the Lich King was the first like expansion that I played like from the beginning. And since then I've played every expansion. Yeah. As a new subscriber to your channel, I'm absolutely looking forward to appreciating your 2021 content. It would be great if you had a series that addressed logical fallacies, cognitive biases. Yeah, I made a couple videos like that many years ago, but it would probably be good to do an updated version. But I appreciate the kind words. Love your videos so much. Thank you very much. My favorite class. My favorite class is either Rogue or Warrior. I go between the two. I'm playing Warrior right now. Last expansion, or the last... Well, actually the last expansion I played mostly Paladin. The two expansions before that I played Rogue though. But I just like melee classes. I like getting up in people's faces and hitting them with swords and knives and shit. That's basically how I play every game. Every RPG, I always want to be the guy that's up in your face, like smacking you. No, it's passe because the Queen's Gambit. But do you play chess? I do play chess, actually. Um, I've been into chess for a while. I'm not very good. I've never really like. I mean, I've like practiced a little bit and learned a few things, but I never like stuck to it enough to get really good. But I think it's really cool that chess has gotten so popular on the internet because it's a fun game. It's a really, really hard game, and I think that a lot of people won't stick to it because it's so hard. But the few people that do stick to it, I think, will really enjoy it because it's a really fulfilling game. Yeah, I'm on chess.com. It's cool because, you know, I've been going back and forth with chess for years. And then I started back recently, and then I just randomly noticed that chess just was blowing up on the internet, it's blowing up on Twitch. And I found a lot of really cool chess content, and I think that influenced a lot of chess content creators to make more content. And a lot of chess grandmasters have joined Twitch and shit, so that's really cool. Have I played the original Warcraft game? I played a lot of Warcraft 3. I'm so bad at that game and just RTSs in general. I just don't understand how they're supposed to be played. But yeah, I played a lot of Warcraft 3. Mortal Kombat is better than Street Fighter. I mean, I think that's a valid opinion. I like Street Fighter a lot more, but the most recent Mortal Kombat game is pretty tight. Chess is just slow and tactical racism. Are you saying just because it's white versus black? Yeah, my favorite, in terms of like educational chess content, I really like Daniel Naroditsky, Grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky. His channel's really dope. I like learned a lot of stuff from that channel. In terms of just pure like entertaining content, you got to give it to like either Hikaru or Botez sisters. I would love to do PogChamps. I don't think I'm notable enough to be invited to PogChamps though. They've only invited like really popular people for that. But maybe one day. Maybe I'll be in like PogChamps 9 or something. Yeah, Gotham Chess is pretty good. He has some really good educational videos also. Someone just texted me Happy New Year. And you know how like or like on mine it like gives me like suggested messages to send back, and one of them was haha thanks. That would be such an awkward thing to send back. Haha thanks. Agadmator is the homie though. I love Agadmator. If I can think of a decent topic or a decent angle to talk about immigration, then I'll do the video. I don't know what to say about it though. Probably have to do a lot of research on it. Happy New Year. I still got about 30 minutes before it is midnight here. Recently had a convo about UBI and work-life balance. Have you made a video about that? No. I don't believe I have. What's the best way to approach someone you like? I guess it depends on the context of this. Like, is it someone that you know, someone you've known for a while? Is it someone that you think likes you back? Is it just a random stranger? Is it just someone you like casually know? In general, I would just say, you know, be kind and go for it. And respect whatever their answer to you is. I would say that if you like someone and you want them to be like, if you want to be romantically involved with them, then you need to make that clear. Make sure you frame it in that way. Don't frame it as, you know, like if you want to be friends with someone, then be friends with them. But if you want to be something more than friends with them, then you need to frame it that way, or else they may never understand that that's what you're trying to do. Happy New Year, Christina. Am I the type to make New Year's resolutions? I mean, not specifically. I sort of always have sort of ongoing goals, and they just kind of extend into the new year. But I mean, I definitely have things that I'm going to be looking towards. I talked a little bit early in the stream about just new diet and fitness goals, also finance goals, things like that. Do you have any thoughts on open relationships? I mean, I'm in favor of open relationships, I guess. But I think they can be difficult, and I think they require very like open and honest and constant communication, which generally people are really bad at. But that, I think monogamous relationships require that as well. But non-monogamous ones require it, arguably to a higher degree. Do I have any new music I'm excited about this year? Not really. I don't keep up with music. I feel like a lot of people, once they get to a certain age, they kind of stop following new music and they just stick to listening to things that they remember liking when they grew up. And that's kind of where I'm at. Every now and then I'll just randomly hear something that sticks out to me. But yeah, I don't really keep up with music. What about talking about Julian Castro's stance that we should decriminalize immigration and illegal border crossings? Would that be of interest to you? I really would have to research it and hear the arguments for it. I don't think I'm informed enough to really know. I do think that America's sort of immigration and citizenship process is unnecessarily convoluted and complicated. I think that if someone wants to be a citizen of this country in particular, it shouldn't be hard to do that. I feel like we should be able to provide an easy pathway to that. I'm not super clear about decriminalizing border crossings. Because I think that could be a slippery slope, but again, I would just have to hear the arguments for it. I'm a black guy who realized I was almost totally sub to white men this year, and I'm so glad I found you. I appreciate that, Nigel. There's a lot of great black creators and creators of color out there. What age was that for me? I guess maybe like 29, 30, something like that. Really appreciate your channel. I appreciate you, AC. How long did it take you to grow your locks? Like 11 years? Yeah, rest in peace, MF Doom. That was really wild, out of nowhere. There's a few deaths this year that were just kind of out of nowhere. Yeah, it's gonna be open and straightforward. They've known her for about a month now. Just hoping my anxiety doesn't get in the way. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna be nervous, and that's just the way it goes. But you know, you just gotta shoot the shot. And if they say I'm not interested, then you move on. And if they say, yeah, maybe I'll give you a shot, and then you can go from there. The only way, I mean, in terms of like asking people out and things like that, the only reason people are nervous is because they're afraid of rejection. But the thing is, you're never going to be unafraid of rejection. And really the only way to become okay with rejection is to feel what it's like to be rejected. Because once you actually feel what it's like to be rejected, you realize eventually, maybe not immediately, but you realize eventually that you will live. Who would I pick to play an Asian version of myself? That's a weird question. I have no idea. Have I talked about climate justice in a video? I don't think I have. I mean, I've mentioned it probably briefly. Again, usually when I make videos about stuff that I feel like either isn't being talked about or isn't being talked about in a way that I think it should be talked about. And I don't know if there's anything that I could say about the climate that hasn't been said a million times already. But if I think of something, if I think of a unique angle, then I might do that. Well, yeah, the immigration process in America is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, some people, it's almost, I mean, it's like playing the lottery. For some people, you may never become a citizen just because you were unlucky. Yeah, apparently MF Doom died, and apparently he died in October, but they just announced it today. Do I meditate? I do. Sometimes I fall out of practice, but I do. It is something that I do. Do I drink? Do I have a favorite drinking game? I haven't played a drinking game in a while. The problem with drinking games is they usually result in you getting more drunk than you need to be. And with me, and I don't mean to keep bringing up how old I am, but it's just a thing you can't do anymore. The hangovers are too bad. But I mean, I guess back in the day we used to play a lot of drinking games. By the way, I mean, I have a beer right now, so I do drink. I just try to limit it because otherwise I will literally feel like I'm dying for the next 2 days. Me and my buddy, we used to play Power Hour a lot. It's a very, very easy way to get a lot of beer in you very quickly. Am I superstitious? think so. If I could create a video on the missing and murdered Native American women in the United States and Canada. Yeah, I would have to research it. I don't really know anything about that. And I don't mean to imply that I'm like old, but I'm guessing I'm probably older than the average person who's on YouTube. So, and according to my YouTube analytics, I'm older than the average age of my audience as well. Even though most people in my audience, I think, are like, you know, in mid-20s and higher. I think most people. There's like, I think there's like 15. It's like 26 to 35. I think is my largest demographic, and then like, you know, like 15 to 30 or something is the, or 15 to 25 is the second largest. I am indeed older than that. MS Quar. I won't even have beer if I'm feeling dehydrated at all. Well, yeah, I mean, a good practice is to drink water while drinking alcohol. Let me guess, 36. I'm 35 years old. For decriminalizing border crossings is just the idea that people who enter the U.S. as undocumented should not be thrown in jail / detention centers and treated as criminals versus a civil matter. Yeah, I mean, if it's, yeah, I mean, I probably agree with that. It just depends, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of context. I resist oversimplifying things like that. Have I ever considered using a bidet? I've considered it. I've never really been in a position to do it, though, I guess. Almost everyone I know that has ever tried a bidet loves it, though. Indeed, very close. By the way, you maybe can hear, but these kids in my neighborhood have been popping firecrackers all day, so you may hear pop every now and then. I think that a lot of things, especially things related to politics, people tend to oversimplify those things, and that's why I always hesitate to come to basically to come to very like 100% conclusions on things, especially if I haven't specifically researched it. Like if I do say something very solid, it usually means because I've looked into it a lot. But even after looking into things, I almost always still would provide the disclaimer that it's more complicated, there's nuance, there's more context. Fireworks shows are okay. I fucking hate firecrackers and shit that you buy from the store. All they do is make noise. I fucking hate that shit. How do I do my research generally? Google. Google is easy. It's, I mean, everything you could ever want to know, just Google it. So, I mean, obviously it's a little more involved in that, but it's not that much more involved in that. But I like fireworks shows. They're not that bad. Yeah, I mean, I made a whole video about how to research stuff. I think people overthink it. Literally just Google. I even did an example of it in the video. It was my video called I think it was how white people can learn about the black experience, something like that. But in that video I talk about basically how you can just look up something if you're curious about it. There is a literal endless amount of information on the internet for free. Some of it is biased, some of it is skewed, but that's where you got to put in the work and the scrutiny. You got to look at many different things and see what adds up and what doesn't. Like if you really care enough to research something, then that's what you have to do. But like I think people overthink it. We're in this era now where people have this just sort of unwarranted mistrust of the media. Like if you Google something and like a Washington Post article pops up, it's probably fine, you know? And if you're suspicious, then just look at something else and see if it corroborates, and then look at something else. If they link to a study or link to something else, click on that link and go look and see what it is. Like, just do it. What are my thoughts on critical race theory? I've been hearing about it a lot lately. Critical race theory, I mean, how would you describe what that is? It's basically like, I mean, is that like different from the generalized idea of how racism, systemic racism works? I don't know. I don't know. A lot of these terms, I forget what people mean by them. Isn't that just like this idea that race is a social construct and systemic racism is the thing? I don't know. I forgot. Yeah, I mean, but even if you get to a point where you need more context to understand it better, you can often find a lot of that context on Google. How long does it usually take me to prep one of my videos? It does depend a lot on the topic. Some videos are literally just stream of thought, me saying how I feel about something. Some videos require a lot of research, like for example, the recent videos I did about police racism, those required a lot of research, because they required me to look at a lot of studies, like dozens of studies. So that required like weeks of research. Some videos may not require a lot of research, but just require a lot of collection of sources and footage and stuff. So usually videos that involve talking about media, like the video I did about SNL's Black Jeopardy, or the video I did about Tina Fey, that required a lot of effort in terms of just gathering all the footage that I needed, and sometimes rewatching the show that I'm talking about. So that takes a lot of prep. But then some videos, it's just, hey, here's how I think about something. Like my last video, positive stereotypes, was more of that. Just like, here's what I think about a thing. What's my opinion on COVID-13? What's your view on white writers writing about racism? I'm a writer and I feel it's okay as long as lots of research is done and writers take time to speak to ethnic minorities. I mean, I think that everyone should make stuff however they feel like they want to make it. And then as long as you're willing to deal with whatever the reaction to it is. I don't think that white people are required to write about racism, nor do I think that white people are required to ignore racism. Just do what you want. It's your art, and do it in a way that you think is useful, and then we as a society will consume it, and then we will react to it in the way that we do. So if you want to avoid like a negative reaction, then you probably do want to make sure that you're being accurate and fair and things like that. But that's kind of up to you, I think. Problem is, a lot of the more well-researched stuff online is behind paywalls nowadays. A lot of it is, but a lot of it isn't. Especially if you are persistent and are good at searching for stuff on the internet, which I understand is kind of a skill that some people are better at than others. Also, you know, Google's just convenient, but it's not the only thing there is. Like, there's libraries, there's other, you know, other forms of media. There's documentaries, there's magazines, there's newspapers. A lot of notable people in these fields that maybe have done work on the subject you're looking at are just literally just accessible. You can DM them on Twitter, and a lot of them will respond to you. Or you can email them, you know, things like that. This administration has really done a lot of destruction to the asylum process. The idea that you could seek refuge here if your home country was unsafe made me proud. Yeah, I mean, this administration has fucked up a lot of things. Yeah, you can often just email the researchers. Like, these people, you know, if they're like famous or something, like if they're like fucking, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a famous person. I was gonna say Jordan Peterson, but he's kind of a clown, so I don't know, that's kind of unfair. But I wouldn't email Jordan Peterson about anything related to politics, but you may want to email him something about psychology. But he probably gets thousands of emails every day. But a lot of these people, they would be super happy that someone was showing interest, like as you said, MS Quar. Was I ever into goth culture? No, that's a big no for me. I don't have anything against it. It just wasn't. I went to a black middle school and a black high school, and we didn't have any goths. I don't think. It wasn't a thing at my school. It's not a big thing in the black community. I'm not saying that there aren't black goths, because there definitely are, but I wouldn't say that it's one of the bigger subcultures, and it definitely wasn't at my school. Thoughts on veganism? Veganism is fine. I don't think clean your room and man up is great psychological advice. Well, the thing about that is I think to me that seems like pretty bland advice. But I also believe that you have to meet people where they are, and sometimes something that seems obvious or trite to you might be just the thing that somebody needs to hear. So I don't really like to make that criticism of Jordan Peterson, but I do think he has a lot of bad takes in general. I think I'm gonna go try to find another beer. I'll be right back, y'all. Chair got snagged on a cord. I didn't see Soul yet. I need to watch it. Best nonfiction book this last year. I didn't read any books. Well, I didn't read any books that came out this year. I read The Thank You Economy by Gary Vaynerchuk, and it was like all right. I don't know, people talk about that book like it's like life-changing, but it seemed pretty like speaking of like sort of like Jordan Peterson, like really basic advice, maybe because it was written in 2004 or something, and maybe back then it seemed like really legendary, but reading it now is like, okay, dude. And like the whole book was literally him saying the same thing over and over in just different words for like 150 pages, 200 pages. It's really weird. And I'm a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, by the way. So it's not that I don't even like the guy, but that book wasn't that tight to me. That's also a good tip. Kaname. Many libraries do have subscriptions to research journals, so when it's safe to go outside again, just hit up your library. You can do a lot of, like, a library is an amazing place to do research, as you might imagine. Libraries, not only do they have Google, which, you know, can get you 90% of the way anywhere, they've got books. And in fact, a lot of internet articles use books as sources, and sometimes you can find those books at the library. As mentioned, they often have access to subscriptions to these things. Sometimes libraries have archives of like old newspapers and old magazines, things of that nature. So yeah. Do you think Trump might run in 2024? I truly doubt it, but you never know with Trump. He's the most unpredictable politician I've ever encountered. Do I play any instruments? No. I guess that's a no. I used to try to learn the guitar a lot. I bought a guitar many years ago, and I would try on and off to learn it, but I just never stuck with it. I can play like a few chords, and that's about it. Do you think basic needs like food, water, housing, etc. should be made free in order to ease the cost of living? Yes, that's exactly what I think, actually. That's kind of like my main economic position. As a white person, watching your black friends video really made me think about why I have black friends is a bad defense, and why it has the opposite effect of what many people using it intend. Well, that's awesome. That was kind of the point of making the video, is to make people think about that. So thanks for letting me know that it was successful. Libraries are the shit. Libraries are absolutely awesome. If you're not using your library, you're missing out on like a valuable resource. Like, not even just for research. Like, some libraries rent video games. Like, there's so much cool shit. You can rent movies at the library. Depending on how cool your library is, there's like different stuff you can do. Like, the library near me, or not near me, but like maybe like 30 minutes away, they used to have shows there that like bands would play. They would do like stage shows. There's a dope ass cafe that was connected to my library. I understand not every library is that fancy, but you know, I'm sure your library is pretty cool. Do you like Biden, or would you say he's a lesser evil? I think Biden is less than ideal for sure. But if we're going off his current policy proposals, I'm optimistic about Joe Biden, but we have yet to see what what actually he does, how he governs. This is something I actually plan to do on future streams. I'm going to be paying a very close watch to Biden and his administration. And I think probably I'm going to do like a Biden watch on the stream or something. Like, we're going to like go over like everything that Biden's doing, and we'll talk about it on stream and probably make some videos about it. But we're going to be paying a close eye to Biden. But I'm optimistic because I think that he definitely has the most progressive platform ever from a president. But we'll see. We'll see what he actually does when he gets into office. But he is less than ideal. I wanted a candidate that wanted to do more. You know, I preferred someone like Warren or Bernie Sanders. But I think when it comes to politics, if you've got something good, or if you got some hope, I think it's foolish to just be like unnecessarily pessimistic and unnecessarily defeatist when there's some hope. I feel like Trump is either going to continuously deny that he lost and probably just pretend to still be the president forever, or he's just going to disappear from public life and pretend like none of this ever happened. I would be surprised if he ran in 2024. And if he did run in 2024, I would be surprised if by that time he was popular enough to even win the nomination. Why do you think people are so against socialism? Well, there's multiple reasons. The largest one is probably because of a decades and decades of propaganda. Um, a lot of people just, when they hear the word socialism, they just automatically assume bad, evil, without even making a rational connection between the two things. They just, their head automatically just says bad, that's bad. Socialism bad, socialism bad. And they don't even stop to think why they even think it's bad, because it's been drilled into Americans' head that socialism is bad for decades. Like literally, since like the 20s or some shit. So that's a big reason. And that continues to this day. Like if especially on the right, if you look on the right, conservatives, they say the word socialism with such disdain that they don't even feel like they have to explain why socialism is bad. And I think a lot of people don't even understand what socialism is. They just feel like it's bad. On the other hand, there are people who just disagree with socialism. There are people who think that private ownership is good and that competitive markets that compete for profits is good. They think it drives innovation. They think it's responsible for a lot of the innovation that we enjoy and often take for granted today. And they believe that socialism, that first of all, that couldn't have happened under socialism, and second of all, that will stop if we switch to socialism. So I feel like Biden is just a typical politician, much better than Trump, but not good and corrupt. Well, I mean, why though? Like there's this it's weird because Joe Biden is absolutely more progressive than Hillary Clinton, but the disdain and mistrust of Joe Biden is so much higher than, well, I don't know, that might be wrong actually, but it's pretty fucking, like there's so much mistrust and denigrating of Joe Biden. And it's like, yeah, I mean, really I guess the reason for that is if people are saying, I just don't trust him. I have a gut feeling I shouldn't trust him. He did some weird things a while ago. And even though he says that those are mistakes and he doesn't want to do them again, I think he's lying. And that's just not really, like, I just feel like it's useless to like read people's minds, to attempt to read people's minds and say that they're lying or not. Like the only thing that we can do is go off what they say and go off what they do. Like I don't know the point of having like what's the point of like even paying attention to politics if we just assume people are lying when they say stuff? Like I don't understand the point of participating in politics if that's what we're doing. Oh yeah, it is past midnight here. I just realized. Happy New Year to me. I wanted to catch it at midnight. Wait, no, I want to hear. I want to hear this version. I'm trying to find like a good version of Auld Lang Syne. What are all these weird versions? Oh, we got to play the Mariah Carey version. I'm gonna stop it before I get copyright. That may have been enough to get copyright, to be honest. Well, it's 2021 for me. So I guess all we've got left is the people over on the West Coast, or I think there's Mountain Time and Pacific Time. I honestly have not reviewed much about what Biden has been doing. I know I saw some articles where they were talking about his cabinet picks, but I'm basically gonna like starting now. Basically, I'm gonna like basically that's kind of like one of my goals for 2021 is to zero in on this administration. I haven't been doing it like lately, really. I've been, well, it's been the holidays, and also I've been just chilling, but I will say that leftists do the same thing with the word capitalism that conservatives do with the word socialism. So it's just part of the political propaganda game. Everybody does it. All right, Brody, thanks for checking out the stream.